Hello and welcome to the Wonky Gamer, and this is episode 10, Ghostbusters. Catch them all. In this episode we're going to be discussing quite a few different games, going to have a bit of a chat about the craziness that might be, maybe not, maybe, who knows, Red Dead Redemption 2. We'll also be having a look at Carmageddon and Ghostbusters and a couple of other things as well. So I'm obviously Steph, and then we've got Rami.
Hiya.
Ed.
Hello.
Berg.
Hey.
Excellent. How are you all doing, boys?
Not bad.
Oh, good. Thank you. How are you doing, Steph, after last night?
I'm doing appalling, because Rami basically pours mixed drinks into your drinks.
Hey, that wasn't me.
Yeah, it was someone else, but Rami basically got me
Encouraged it.
smashed. It ended badly.
How badly?
Well, let's not go into the graphic detail of vomiting on my floor.
Technicolor
Too far
detail.
away from a bucket, huh?
That was indeed, it was terrible.
Good.
But anyway, enough about vomiting on the floor.
It's time for the gaming news.
Should we have a chat about Red Dead Redemption 2 as a kind of potential thing that's happening? Yeah.
Yeah, because I've loved the Red Dead games.
They just re-released it, didn't they, on the Xbox One? The original. Not the Red Dead Redemption. There was actually a game before that, but
Yeah.
the original one by Rockstar.
Yeah,
And
fully
everyone's
backwards
been playing
compatible.
it. Apparently, it's big.
Yeah, the sales on pre-owned copies went up ridiculously.
Wow. It is such a good game, though.
I kind of got into the first one. I didn't quite get round to finishing it because I think something newer and shinier came out.
Oh, it was awesome from the very first one. Red Dead Revolver, wasn't it?
Yeah, I never played that.
Neither did I.
Ah, the first one was brilliant. But I love westerns, so...
It was Grand Theft Auto, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa there, Nelly.
But we talked
Does
about it
anybody
before,
else-
but there's been like a lot of little hints about it, because there was the whole thing, I think we discussed it on the E3 one, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
allegedly it was supposed to be trailered at E3, but we don't have any concrete evidence of that.
No.
You'd think Rockstar Games would be making a bit of a thing about this. And they tend to be kind of like all singing, all dancing, hey, look at the new game. It's going to make everybody kind of like go, certification. That's what they aim for, isn't it? Rockstar Games has a track history of doing some fairly adult material kind of games. And
Yeah.
they
Factor.
usually go, yeah, this usually means, yeah, this is going to be adult content. We know exactly who we're aiming this game for. If somebody of a younger age gets hold of it, well, that's not actually our fault.
No, that's down to parents not paying attention
Yes.
to what the kids are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that leads to a whole discussion about sort of the ethics of computer games and whether that affects young children, all that kind of thing. So it might be a good segue into Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Gotta catch them all.
Good luck with that one. You're going to put some mileage down to find all of them. Fancy walk. Actually, do you think there are Pokemon in the middle of the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean?
Oh, maybe.
Do
Possibly.
you think we can get some players to actually go out there and check and then email us in?
Yeah, that'd be
You
brilliant.
need,
Anyone going on a cruise around the Mediterranean?
Oh, fuck that. Just get them to swim out there. Check for us.
you can't get internet on a cruise ship though, can you?
You can get internet on a bus.
Ah.
Yeah. The cruise ships all tend to have fairly
Right.
decent Wi-Fi on them as far as I'm aware.
They've,
Oh.
They kind of need it, don't they?
they've got massive communication arrays built into them, so
Yeah. I can
Stop
imagine
it.
this. pretty good security on a ship as well. So it's the last thing you wanted to do is suddenly go like, hang on, we've just wandered into North Korean waters. This is never good. Balls. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'm probably going to be the advocate against Pokemon Go here. I'm going to be your resident heel on this one because I've got some very significant issues with Pokemon Go. I'm going to really try not to rant my ass off at this, but as far as I'm concerned, Pokemon Go is basically a blood sport. And I kind of want to know why Peggy, for those of you that don't know what Peggy is, it's the Pan-European Game Information. You're supposed to find it on every game box. And ordinarily, computer games don't require any form of certification unless they have very specific contents, in which case it's passed on to the BBFC. And this is just purely here in the UK, but the British Board of Film Certification. And the reason why the BBFC are allowed to take over on the certification of computer games is if they have any of the following criteria involved, which is including any graphic violence, whether it includes blood or not, doesn't matter. It still needs to go up against the BBFC. Also, any nudity or sexual content and cruelty to animals. And that's when the BBFC is supposed to step up and say, right, we're going to put a very specific certificate on this. And this is actually law-abiding. So I'm kind of in one of those positions at the moment where I won't play it on the basis that, as far as I'm concerned, Pokemon just in general as a franchise, as far as I'm concerned, is basically selling cruelty to animals. And allow me just to quickly, I know I'm probably getting a lot of hate right now. I can feel my ears burning. But as far as I'm concerned, what it's actually endorsing anybody to do, including children, is to go out, capture a wild animal, stick it in a small board without food, water, or the ability to take a poop, and then get the player to fight for their entertainment. And as far as I'm concerned, that puts them, especially as far as we in the UK are concerned, that puts them in the same category as things like fox hunting, badger baiting, cockfighting, and bullfighting.
Or the meat industry.
Yeah, totally. I mean, surely there's got to be snack food in there. You think if they were going to kill them, you'd think they'd just skin them and kind of like make a nice kebab out of them. But no, these creatures can't die. And anybody that says, oh, they're not really getting hurt, well, in that case, I want to throw out this one. When you're playing a game like GTA or any other thing by, say, I don't know, Rockstar Games, for instance, you are actually shooting virtual people. So what's the difference between virtual people and virtual animals? You still have to put a certificate on a game like, for instance, Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'm glad they do that because you are putting it aside. But surely there should be a certification for a game like Pokemon Go, because that's what it's there for. And I'd like to know why Peggy and the BBFC haven't actually tackled this, because it's very serious and it's actually really quite relevant here in the UK, for the sole reason is that, well, without going into the politics of it, but we have a rather screwy government right now that's actually trying to bring back fox hunting and its ilk, which the majority of the country is otherwise absolutely bored at. So why are we so willing to put up with what is essentially animal cruelty in a computer game? We wouldn't accept it in real life. Why do we accept it in a computer game?
But we do.
That's
we
just
do.
my question.
As someone who's vegetarian, there's a disconnect from playing that game and viewing it. Sense, like it's not viewed literally in that sense by young children. I don't think.
I don't think a lot of kids.
I don't think they make that connection.
No, I
to
don't.
be honest.
Because I've never really made that connection with it, even as an adult. Like, I mean, yeah, you can definitely go that way with it and like view it that way, but that isn't really necessarily the instant connection that young kids make with Pokemon. So I don't think that even crosses their mind.
Just to clarify, the normal Pokemon games that you get on the 3DS and the Nintendo DS, they do have PEGI ratings. So it's a PEGI rating 7.
So they're expected to be about 7 years old to play the average Pokemon game.
Yeah, so that's going to be down to things like reading age and puzzle-solving capabilities.
People are able to download this onto their mobile phones, can't they?
Yeah,
yes.
But do you think parents should really be giving kids, under 7 years old, their own personal mobile phones?
No.
But they maybe
My
not, but
kids
they
don't
still
have
do
them
it.
yet.
Whose responsibility is it? Should it not be up to the parents to make that kind of decision? And also, look at me as a product, right? It's a you look at a burger, it's a round thing. You have an association with it as it's a little round thing of meat, and you eat it. When I used to eat meat, I never really made a connection between an animal and that round circular thing that I ate, you know.
Yeah, but the likes of Burger King and McDonald's don't roll the cow out to meat you before they grill the bastard, do they?
No.
And most of the animals that you see in Pokemon Go are ordinarily, I would assume, since I don't tend to pay much attention to it, but they're big eyes, small mouths, kind of cute. They're like, oh, look, they're all cute and cuddly, and yet you're still going to make them fight for your entertainment. And it also comes down to, yes, you're absolutely right. People should be able to determine the difference, and I'm sure the average person can. But that doesn't mean that the game should. I don't believe that neither Peggy nor the BBFC. I think they should be paying attention to this because that is exactly what is going on. It is still animal cruelty that is being sold here.
I've feeling it may have been before up against both Peggy and the BBFC at some point because it has it's rated as 9+ for the following: infrequent / mild cartoon or fantasy violence.
Yeah.
So it will have got a rating from somebody.
Yeah.
Everything needs to have a rating now. I mean,
yes.
The catch is that up until 2003, all the ratings that you saw on video games were put there entirely voluntarily.
It's now a legal requirement. You have to do it as part of the age-related sales system. Basically, challenge anyone who doesn't look old enough to buy the game. If they're not old enough, they're not getting it. Yeah. I see it every day. I see kids that look at you. I'm 18 in a week. Sorry, you're not old enough. Come back in a week. Bring your ID with you.
Yeah.
For all I know, you could be, the person stood right behind you could be trading standards, and if I do sell this to you, I'm going to be fined at least £2,000, and I could very easily lose my.
If I was to get caught selling a game to someone who's underage, it is £5,000 fine.
Wow.
Possible 6 months in prison, loss of job, and a criminal record, and it's cumulative as well.
Criminal record?
It's a criminal offence.
Wow.
Same as selling cigarettes and alcohol to minors.
Yeah, it comes with a certificate on it for a reason.
And it's also cumulative as well.
I think.
So that's per title. So if they bring up 15, 18, whatever rated games they are, and they're not old enough, it's an offence per title.
Per game.
Per title.
Wow.
Jesus.
So
you wouldn't want to walk away with a £15,000 fine in like a year and a half and a clink, would you?
No.
Well, when I grew up playing computer games, of course, none of them had ratings.
Nope,
and
nothing had a rating like when I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, at the same time,
is that partly the nanny state? Then are we taking it too far to some degrees, or?
I mean, it depends. Because I think, I mean, it depends on your views. But I mean, personally, I think like for something like that, I think it'd really be up to the parent whether they think their child's old enough to play a game like that, and also whether they take it in that direction. Also, I think the type of children that would actually torture animals, I don't think they'd be influenced by Pokemon. I think that they would just be grade A. They'd
already have they probably already have the problem.
I mean, I can actually counter my own argument with this, with something like Hanna-Barbera's original series of Tom and Jerry. It is no longer allowed to be aired in this country because the two of them were beating 7 shades of pants out of them, and even though they couldn't be hurt, not really deadly hurt or anything, they still pulled it from being aired. And they've had to move that on. But I know. Still. Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. They talk about the violence in cartoons nowadays, and it's like, but I grew up watching Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
The violence in cartoons nowadays is nothing. Every 5 seconds, something gets hit.
Yes, it's The Simpsons, for instance. You look at The Simpsons, they managed to put Itchy and Scratchy in the middle of it so they could get round the censors. You look at the cartoons that the majority of us probably grew up with, in the case of things like, I don't know, Transformers not being really applicable since they were just robots, but they were sentient robots. You have the likes of Mask, where they were shooting each other every single episode. G.I. Joe was a sales pitch to join the military for American children, and simply spread from there. Yeah,
and merchandising.
Yeah. All of the Marvel and DC stuff, it's absolutely doused in violence, and yet we don't tend to, they use a sort of moral message behind things like DC and Marvel. You've got very clear good guys. You've got usually fairly clear bad guys.
Yeah.
And there's a moral lesson behind that. The whole point Stanley was trying to make was you can still be tolerant, but this is what these people are dealing with. And that was great. But do you really still learn that from something like Pokemon? If you just ignore the cartoons and all the rest of the jibber jabber that goes with it, if you just look at the game itself, is it really teaching you a moral lesson here? Or is it actually just is it just basically selling torture?
And generally with Pokemon games, you've got the trainers, which is your character, and you've got Team so-and-so. It's usually Team Rocket or Team B or whatever the game happens to be. There's always a team somewhere or other. They are the bad guys who generally just want to destroy the world, and they generally tend to... I think they force Pokemon to fight, whereas the Pokemon that you capture do it because they want to do it for you. You make friends with them.
And you look after
It's not
them.
so much a case of capturing them and keeping them in balls. It's more a case... Because we don't know what's inside the balls. It could be a pocket dimension. It could be massive. It could be a 5-star hotel for all we know.
It's my conservation background that has a problem with that, because you've got the ex situ and in situ thing, where essentially you're not really supposed to uproot flowers from where they're at, because you are interfering with the natural course of nature. But okay, that doesn't really apply in a virtual sandbox kind of world. But at the end of the day, it's still there's a principle in there, and I don't know if it's really been addressed by the powers that be. And I think there is a responsibility for the censors and the various to actually maybe look into this, and maybe more to the point, the Japanese game companies, because at the end of the day, Japan, and I'm going to throw this out there, both Nintendo, everything that so much of Nintendo, Square Enix, Final Fantasy games. How many times have you had to so-called tame an animal with a fucking fireball, for fuck's sakes? Pardon my French, but come
Final
on.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
How many times have you played Final Fantasy games where you've had to shame a chocobo by beating it in the face?
No, you don't beat the chocobo. It's the problem with Final Fantasy VII. You beat up the animals around it, but you chuck down the green.
That's fine.
I'll beat up everything but you.
Are attacking you. You don't just go and attack them. You're walking around and they attack you and they're really violent. So you have to kill them to survive.
Yeah, I think we might be going a little bit further, and I'm really quite surprised I've managed to remain remarkably constrained over this, because on Facebook I have been remarkably vocal about how I feel about Pokemon Go. And
Pokemon Go is big news, isn't it?
I was going to say, ethics aside,
of it.
It's good. It's for getting kids out of the house. They're actually going out on walks rather than sitting in front of TV screens. Okay, they're staring at a smartphone most of the time, but they're outside and exercising.
See, Rami found a post, didn't he, about the good that the game was doing. If we kind of can put aside all the blood sportiness and all the horror that we've seen over the news about what's happened to some of the Pokemon players, like people getting lost down mine shafts, getting shot at in the streets, water bombs to disperse crowds and all the rest of it. There is some good that's coming out of this game, right?
There is, yeah. There's a post that has been on my Facebook. One of my friends reposted it. It looks like the original post was by a guy called Josh Conley. This is what he's put. Say what you want about Pokemon Go, but let me share a story from a few nights ago. In downtown Kalamazoo, there are hundreds of people at the park downtown playing at all times. Not an exaggeration either. The people from every age group, ethnic group, and social background interacting and laughing and sharing stories and tips in a way that I have never seen in my entire life. I've seen older people in business suits talking to goth kids, teenagers in bro tanks interacting with people dressed head to toe in Pokemon clothes, people sharing a bench with the homeless, and so much more. You name it, I've seen it, and that's just in 1 week of this game coming out. Pizza places are taking advantage of this and selling pizzas at the park for $5. The other night, I saw some guys buy a pizza for a homeless guy and give the pizza guy an extra $5 to give someone else a free pizza. Cool. Which the pizza guy, rather than pocketing the $5, actually did give it someone a free pizza. About 15 to 20 minutes later, I saw the same homeless guy walking around asking people playing if they were hungry and wanted a slice of pizza. Someone who has virtually nothing offering people out playing a game if they want food. I don't think I need to explain how powerful that is. So if you want to judge people out playing or make fun of people over 12 who play, I urge you to actually look at this, at how this game is bringing people together. It's actually quite incredible. I mean, that's one of the positives, and it does seem to be. You ignore all the various negative aspects and some of the things where either people haven't been paying attention or they've trespassed on people's land, been shot at, that all those kind of things. The good side of things just doesn't seem to get mentioned enough, I feel. And seeing as it's one of the most downloaded apps ever,
It's
I mean, in
downloaded
one
more,
night.
It's been downloaded more than other popular apps like Facebook and Tinder.
Yeah, in just one night, pretty much.
It's that popular. Nintendo shares went through the roof. They've gone up over a quarter of what they were worth before.
Yeah, it added
Niantic's not doing too badly out of this
$9 billion to it.
So Nintendo as a company, you've got to be giggling buckets of snot about that one. So with something being that popular, it's also always going to attract opposition. There has been some opposition on the day of the European launch. Various hacker groups decided they were going to launch a DDoS attack to shut down the server. Obviously, with millions of people in Europe all trying to log on at the same time as well, that's not going to help. It's the DDoS attack thing on gaming facilities is a poor excuse. There've been excuses like we're taking on the corporate entity on behalf of the consumer. I'm a consumer. Stop it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I want to come home from work. I want to sit down in the evening, log onto my Xbox, get onto Xbox Live, and I want to play something like The Division with my friends. I don't want to spend 4 hours trying to connect because some jumped up little 13-year-old who's been shot in the dark zone on The Division has got the hump and decided he's going to instigate a DDoS attack on it.
And everyone's fun.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's someone's better than me, so I'm just going to ruin the game for everybody. It's not grown up. It's not big. It's not clever. If you want to be a hacktivist of some variety, more power to you. Take on a target that's worth it, like ISIS or something like that.
Yeah, take out Daesh. Don't call them ISIS. Call them Daesh. They really don't like that, apparently.
Well, I'm trying not to be political about it, but
yes, totally.
Leave the people just playing and having fun alone.
Yeah,
they're not.
You might have you've got a problem with Microsoft Apple computer. You've probably got a problem with Apple, so run Linux.
Go open source.
If you don't want to use a product by Microsoft, don't use it. There are alternatives out there.
Vote with your feet.
Ruin everyone else's experience because you don't like it. If you don't like burning your hand on a fire, don't put your hand in the fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my rant over. Just leave the gamers to get on with it.
Yeah, there are better targets out there right now.
I just don't see why we can't all just get along. Can we all just get along, please?
No, stop it. My hate is certified. I like my hate.
Moving on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, what else have we got? Armageddon.
Speaking of 18 ratings.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why this has one.
Yeah, here's a game that earned it.
Yeah, and then some.
Yeah.
Has anyone played this?
I played the original when it came out.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. That was a while back.
Driving around and blowing things up.
Is it 90s?
Something like that.
Yeah,
a while back.
It just reminded me so much of the film Death Race 2000.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was inspired by that, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me because got to kill those pedestrians.
Was it Carmageddon, which was the driving game where they actually had to change all the people into zombies in order to actually get it past the censors to begin
They
with.
did at one point,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
because
with the
they
green
took
blood, because it was just too wrong.
Yeah.
It came out 97.
Oh,
First.
really?
Yeah. Oh wow, and the picture on the cover was just a car ramming into a businessman. Fucking hell. Well.
Wow.
I mean, I had
Yeah.
played this game.
Oh, right.
On the PC when it came out. I did follow it a bit on beta because I really liked Carmageddon, the original.
Yeah.
I felt this was really bad actually but I mean, I'm talking about the PC version, so maybe the problems I had with it are no longer problems on the Xbox. But the loading screens took about, no lie, about 4 to 5 minutes.
Wow.
And that was when it had actually officially been released. So it was really, really, really long just to load up the game.
It may have been due to the matching system. There might not have been enough players at the same level or something like that.
Or your computer was cacked.
No, but it was on a single player match.
That was single player.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was single player.
Yeah,
Wow.
my PC isn't bad. Like, it shouldn't have struggled that much. I've never had a loading time as long as that, but I don't know what the situation with the Xbox One. I mean, maybe it will actually work a bit better because they might put a bit more effort into it on the Xbox One.
It's also on PS4 as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right.
It should be about 30 quid, roughly.
I mean, from what I've read from reviews of it, the main complaint is that it does what it says on the tin, and
That's it.
arguably it hasn't evolved at all. So it is what you would expect from the 97 game. There aren't many games that are like Carmageddon, so
Sometimes games don't need to evolve.
yeah.
They just need
No.
updating.
I mean, there is something about the Carmageddon thing I've always loved, is the idea that, you don't have to do the race. You just smash the crap out of other cars until you totally destroy them, and then you win. Like, I really like doing that.
Yeah.
Fun.
Just so we're all clear, don't get into a car with him.
No, I've done it twice, and we killed no pedestrians. So
Really?
Zero
Yeah.
points for you.
We swore a lot
Getting
at,
sloppy.
at
We
cyclists.
swore-
I think.
yeah,
Bikers.
cyclists.
Yeah,
Swore at.
Ah.
Yeah, they were going very slow.
horrible.
So as you went past, you just opened the passenger side door. Is that how it works?
Yes.
And shouted at them,
Get
your
some
wheels are
proper
moving as we
clothes.
went past.
Yeah.
The
Is
other
there
title,
anything more that anyone wants to say on Carmageddon? Has anyone got anything?
there's not really a lot to say. You've got a choice of 30 cars. Wrecking the other cars. Killing pedestrians.
It's such a
Pedestrians.
simple premise.
They've all got highly distinctive character and a deranged driver to match.
Are the pedestrians still zombies, or
I don't know. It just says killing pedestrians. Probably a zombie mode.
Alright.
I mean, I don't think it should be 30 quid.
right? It's not worth that.
No, I mean, even if
That's-
it was running well, I would say this should be a 20 quid game, like Vermintide was. Like something that you pick up, you play a bit, but you're not going to get 20 hours out of this. You're going to get maybe 5 to 10 and then pick it up.
Every
Fine.
so often. Oh, I fancy
Hopefully-
mowing down some pedestrians.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that you're going to end up going like, does anybody else fancy joining me in a game of Carmageddon or something? And they'll go like, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
that's-
it's going to be an evening's worth of fun, and then you're probably going to forget it when you find something shiny again.
Yeah.
A party game. Then.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Speaking of party games, the 15th saw the release of the Ghostbusters game. Reviews for it have been conflicted. I was told today about a review that called it an on-the-rail shooter. Having bought a copy and played it myself, it's not an on-the-rail shooter.
They were
it's
just wrong.
it's a twin-stick shooter. It has
Oh.
currently has no online multiplayer capability. It's a 4-player local co-op based game. You can play it single. You have to put up with the AI. Not too bad, to be fair. It's not completely inept.
Just inept-ish.
But well, you guys get knocked over. You have to go over and revive them.
Right.
They are intelligent enough to go over and revive them without getting mutilated.
Oh well.
Um,
You
but,
stand a chance.
Can you order your other player? Can you order the other AI bots about?
No, they kind of generally just follow you in a group.
Right. Okay.
But as a local co-op game, I can see it being brilliant when you've got a couple of mates over and you want to while away some time. There's obviously clearly lots of ghosts in the game, but some of them are returning characters. People like Slimer, Gertrude Eldridge, and
Yeah.
Sparky, which I'm assuming is the one from the electric chair in the second film. So
Yeah.
Gertrude was the woman in the library in the first one, wasn't she?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool.
it has a lot of weapon choices that you can unlock, basically making them better. You get to wrangle the ghosts like you would in, well, you'd expect it from a Ghostbusters game,
Right.
and scan and all sorts of stuff. It's quite fun. I played it for about 2 hours, streamed it for a while, and I was really enjoying it. It's got the classic Ghostbusters theme tune.
Not
in the
that
game as
new
well.
one.
No,
I
not
haven't-
the Fallout Boy. Horror
I've-
fest.
Not actually heard the new one yet.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's awful. Please
Oh
don't.
God, don't do it.
Don't
If
do
you
it.
have any love for Fallout Boy, do not listen to it.
Yeah.
The game itself is an extension to the 2016 reboot. So it's an original story that takes place after the events of the movie. So far there's been one reference to the characters from the movie, but nothing.
Right.
There's no
No
movie detail there.
spoilers.
No, I haven't had any spoilers for the film.
Oh,
Is
that's
it-
good.
Is there any dialogue in the game? Have we got the original voice cast turning up, or
I haven't heard any of the original cast.
any of the new cast?
I haven't heard any of the new cast either.
Oh, right.
I think it's supposed to be like a standalone, so that it doesn't tread on the toes of the film.
Right.
Fair enough. But are you actually playing the girls or the guys?
Mixed team of 2 guys, 2 girls.
Oh,
You've got a heavy with what looks like a minigun. You've got a guy with like an assault rifle version of a proton cannon. One of the girls has got 2 pistols, and the fourth one has a shotgun, like proton pack.
Oh.
But then you
Okay.
switch over to the proton ones for capturing. And you get grenades as
Ah.
well. Every character's got a different type of grenade.
Oh, nice. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I love twin stick
Yep.
shooters.
The-
So.
every-
Yeah,
the-
same here.
The levels have all got pickups in them as well. You get health packs dotted all over the place, but there's also hidden objects to find, like ecto tanks, something like that. You have to go and
All right.
find them. You've got to start a classification rating for the levels, so like A grade, B grade, C grade.
Oh, right.
If you get all the items, you get an A grade, or if you score enough points. I'm not quite sure yet.
I kind of had high hopes for this new Ghostbusters game.
Yeah.
Even if, without having actually seen the film and not being entirely impressed by the trailer, which it turns out may have actually completely put people off seeing
Yeah.
the film, while the film may actually be great. But the last Ghostbusters game with the original cast, I mean, it was fun. I was
Oh,
kinda
Ghostbusters
hoping-
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
That was a really fun game. It was very basic as far as game goes, but it caught the essence of what I wanted from Ghostbusters, and I was really, really hoping
Yeah, it
that
had
this new one was going to do that.
the last one on the 360. It had all the mechanics that you want from a Ghostbusters game.
Yeah.
You were a Ghostbuster.
Yeah. Well, you were the fifth Ghostbuster. They just brought you on for whatever reason.
For shits and giggles.
Yeah. Hey, newbie, go stand in front of that. Why? Just cause.
He slammed me.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a shame because I think probably this game and the film have probably had very bad press,
Yeah,
and it's
there's
not
a lot
really
of
fair, really.
of die-hard fans have been harsh. Is probably the most
Yeah.
politically correct way of saying it.
I think they were just getting a rod up their ass because it wasn't it wasn't their Ghostbusters, guys.
Yes, basically.
Guys.
But
Although they shouldn't have done it as a reboot, should they? I mean, it would have been good if, you know, it had actually been a separate story. Because the fact they're remaking the first story, from what I've heard,
Yeah.
it's a
didn't
bit
necessarily have to be in New York. They could have been a franchise that had been set
Yeah,
up
anywhere.
Yeah.
Washington, or how many historical monuments are there in Washington?
4.
Running
A
around
few.
the White House, proton packing
Get it.
ghosts to bits. That would have been an awesome scene. They could have
Lots
set it
of
up as a
fun.
franchise, had the original
The
characters
national-
going over to help set the place up.
Well,
Hand over the
you've got-
torch, off you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Well, you've got a plethora. I mean, take for instance Fallout 3. The number of landmarks that are actually there in game that are actually real places.
Yes,
You just
could have
think
made
like you've got the National History Museum, the National Science Museum, you've got the Lincoln Memorial, you've got the obelisk, you've got all sorts. And
They
you just
could-
think like, yeah.
they could have made it a sandbox, open world game with, like Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
You can go
Hang on.
anywhere in Gotham. So
Yes.
if they'd made Ghostbusters like that with the missions turning up in the various locations, that would have been awesome. I'd like to see that as a game. I really would.
Like a GTA-esque
Yeah, kind
Ghostbusters.
of like the Division.
GTA Ghostbusters. Or Division
Oh,
Ghostbusters.
Like the Division. That
That'd
is
be
that
That
would
would
be
be
an
wicked.
awesome game. The other thing I'm kind of speculating on is the end of the year we see PlayStation VR,
Ooh,
Hmm.
Ghostbusters VR.
that'd be pretty cool.
It all
Totally
depends
immersive
on how the film
Ghostbusters.
goes.
It
I-
wouldn't necessarily
I
have
could
to
get
be
into that.
wouldn't have to be the 2016 film, though, would it? They could do a completely separate story. A
Good,
completely
but what I'm wondering, I mean, I totally would like to see that. I just don't know whether. I don't know. I think the impact of this film will have consequences if it is totally panned. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it is actually now that people have watched it. I
I
mean, I
think-
haven't seen it yet, but
I think
wonder
it's
The
if
reviews I've seen have been actually quite positive about
I
the film.
think-
They'd
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
it's not as good as the originals. There's no way it can possibly touch Ghostbusters 1. But it's, you know, as far as
It's
from the
a
reviews
good
I've seen, the
movie.
characters are engaging. The story isn't actually that bad.
a lot of
and,
people.
you
A
know-
lot of people probably said that about Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's not
Yeah.
good. Well,
Yeah.
they had 10 seasons. Was it? No, 7 seasons of Star Trek: Next Generation, and you know, what was it, about
Yeah,
4,
plenty of movies.
3 movie spin-offs, and it was huge.
Well,
The
same
Next
people
Generation
that
is
got-
not necessarily going to be bad.
is
but
it
the
bad
same
that I watched
people
a
that
bit of
get-
Enterprise and actually thought it was alright?
Carry on until season 4, then just carry on. Just let it play in the background. You'll get the gist.
But so yeah,
Well,
I really enjoyed Ghostbusters. I thought the game was quite good.
I'm jealous. I really want to play it now.
Yeah, I'm kind
Just
of interested.
if only because it's a twin stick shooter, and I love
Well,
those.
The good thing
Is it being released on PC?
I'm not entirely sure. I've only seen copies on PlayStation and Xbox at the moment. So there has been a shift away from physical copies in stores. So
Yeah,
it's entirely possible it's on Steam, but I haven't actually looked for that myself.
No, there is a Ghostbusters. Looks like $31.99. Release date 12th of July 2016.
On Steam?
Yeah.
That's if it's got the Ghostbusters symbol, Ghostbusters underneath, and 4 silhouettes with proton packs, then it's the same game.
Well, it's just showing the Ghostbusters
Not that one.
symbol, and it's it looks like there's a trailer. There's a big guy with like orange hair and a beard.
Yeah, sounds like the same
Um,
game.
A chick with 2 pistols.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guy
that
with an
sounds
assault
like it.
rifle.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the same game. If it's a very cartoony
yeah.
anime
It
style,
is very kind of anime looking.
yeah, it sounds like the same game.
Yeah, I'm
Sure,
pretty
fair
sure it
enough.
is. So it's on PC there. And it does say single player, multiplayer, co-op, shared and split screen.
There's a disclaimer at the start of the game. It says about the terms and conditions basically, but it does mention online content and stuff. So I'm assuming that's something that will be patched into the game at a later date.
Yeah, it does definitely say thrilling multiplayer experience. Play alongside your friends as the Ghostbusters in the 2 to 4 player local co-op campaign.
So it'll be a LAN party then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I figure my house is almost in the middle, so you should all come to mine.
So you don't have to travel anywhere.
Yeah, well, I could like walk out the front
Yeah, but
door, round the block,
we-
catch some Pokemon, and then come in the back door.
You bastard. Then again, we're going to be using up his electricity and his food and his beer. You are providing the beer, by the way, and
Yeah.
and we'll steal all his food and possibly his women.
And
Oh,
some
what
of us,
women?
his Pokemon.
If you find any women in my house, I want them.
They might be just hiding, dude.
Are they like Pokemon?
Yeah, you need a mobile phone to spot them. Just dial that number. If it rings, you know generally which direction you need to start looking.
Ah, right. That's where I'm going wrong.
What,
So-
you have women hiding around your house?
Moving on.
Now it's time for games we're looking forward to.
August the 10th, looking at No Man's Sky.
Woohoo!
Hopefully,
So
if it
excited.
doesn't shift again.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I don't think it will, because it's gone gold. It went gold a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we can even talk about this game.
We've kind of covered
It's
this
so much,
to
like,
death.
there's so little to talk about now, because it's just...
We'll let
like,
you know more when we've played it.
Yeah, I just don't
I-
think they're going to release any more info.
I don't see why they should. Everything,
No.
all
They've
of
done
the
it.
hype is already there. They'll
there,
probably
let's
come
just
out with a
play
launch trailer, and then everybody will just say, right, let the game speak for itself. And I wish more companies would do that. Just let the game, let the players go, And, if the hype is actually the minimum, and people have a massively good reaction to it, then you sold a game. The people will sell it for you. The positive reviews will go there. If it sucks, on the other hand, you just saved yourself a ton of money.
I'll tell you what, though, No Man's Sky is going to get... The company are going to get an absolute shitload of money.
Yeah.
Because loads of people are pre-ordering that. I'm going to pre-order it. Simon's done it. I think probably everyone else that's going to get it's probably done it.
Yeah.
It's
It's going to be a big one, isn't it?
I haven't done it yet because I'm skint, but it's actually on
Same.
my to-do list.
Yeah.
I know, totally, isn't it? But my one catch is that if this game is going to be so popular, one of the reasons why they've also had to put it back even further, because they're actually getting the servers ready, because I'm expecting an awful lot of initial traffic, which, as all of the major AAA titles over the last 5 years have demonstrated, that their opening
They've
weeks
not been
are
ready
usually,
to cope.
Yeah, or at least even if they were ready to cope, then the initial bugs get in the way and people are going like, I've got massive lag, why? And the server pings are going like, I'm having a cardiac.
I wonder, though, how that will work, because it's such a big game. No, I wonder whether you will all connect to a server.
Yeah, I wonder how it is going to work.
Because
And
actually, it won't
people
be
are-
like you're going to be... It won't be like a game like EVE Online or something, where you've got loads of people in
Thankfully.
the same place. So like in an MMO, you've got loads of people in the same place. It will be like...
the chances of running into people are meant to be infinitesimally small, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you're really going to want to be able to fly around in particular wings, get all of your players together. So I'm kind of wondering what the PvE element of this game is, because again, none of the videos I've seen have actually shown anything that suggests what the gameplay is going to be like yet.
There's supposed to be PvP in it. I know that much. Supposed to be,
there is.
PvP?
there's supposed to be a lot of PvE because you're going to spend a lot of time on your own.
Yeah.
So there's going to be sentry turrets on planets and stuff like that. I've seen that in trailers.
I thought the game was purely PvE, pretty much, and very little PvP, because you're
Well,
very
yeah.
likely to meet someone.
There will be PvP.
There will,
Because
yeah.
if you meet someone, you have a choice of either making friends with them and continuing the journey together, or...
Well, you
Launch
can't make
and
friends.
run.
It's more like Journey.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
Like,
you
you
can
won't-
make friends with them over...
I think you'll be able
PlayStation
to
Network,
even
can't you?
identify them. I think they've said that you won't even be able to see that it's another player.
Ah.
Okay.
My one minor
weird.
catch with the game this large is, I had the same problem with Elite Dangerous. For instance, if I logged off and a friend of mine, say, continues to play, and say say you take a break from a game for a week, a month, or whatever, and then everybody kind of like goes, oh, let's have a game of Elite Dangerous, and they turn up, and then you realise that your first night worth of playing is it's actually having to travel halfway across the galaxy just to meet up with everybody.
Yeah.
I kind of like go, Poop. That's
It'd
it's
be
going
the
to take
same.
at least 2.5 hours to get to you, dude. Even if we meet in
You
the
can
middle
have
of
the same
screen.
problem with Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Eve, if I create a new character now, if I want to go back to my old corporation, I have to travel through some rough terrain to get there,
Right.
and also level and equip myself to be able to travel there. So it'll take an immense amount of time. Luckily, I've still
Wow.
got my old account and my ships are still docked, so
Right.
I've still got all of my ships just sat there waiting to be demothballed.
Yeah, but if I ever wanted to play with you, I
You'd-
basically couldn't.
I could probably haul us back to the start zones.
Right. But it's either way, it's going to be a chore.
Although I've got a funny feeling one of my ships isn't too far from one of the major hubs, so I've got
Anyway,
ways and
we've
means.
digressed there,
Yes.
haven't we?
Yeah.
But
just a touch.
it's the point is the size of the universe is it. They say you won't be able to tell that it's another player, but if you are friends with people on PlayStation Network or on the PC, you're going to have something like TeamSpeak or party chat running in the background. I'm on so and so planet. Okay, I'll head over. Oh look, it's you. Don't shoot at me.
But yeah,
Kind of
but
thing.
I'm stood next to the purple
it will
tree.
take you a week to get to the same place as each other.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're
Of like continuous playing from
They're-
from what I've got an impression of, at least at the beginning.
the experience that's kind of gathered from games like The Division and other games like Eve, as an example, is that if players want to be in a group together, they will be. You've seen it in the Dark Zone Division where you can go rogue. A party of
Yeah.
four people can all go rogue. If you're on TeamSpeak with your friends as well, a group of 20 can all go rogue. So effectively, that is 20 rogue players in one team, even though they are.
Yeah, because they're in 5 groups of 4, all talking together and
Yeah.
just
I mean, I think a lot.
owning the zone.
I think a lot
And-
of people will. I think people will try and group, and I definitely think that it'll happen.
It will
But I
happen.
think
There
it
will
would be-
become.
I don't think they've said that there is literally no mechanic to kind of group or
Yeah,
see
they've
what
not
each
put
other
it
player
in.
looks like. So even things like, we're going to meet on this planet. You've then got a planet the size of Earth to find this other person on.
Yeah.
So
You find a
like,
landmark.
track people or anything, or
You'll find a landmark at for example, the North Pole of the planet.
yeah.
I'm sure they've put the physics for poles on planets in the game, and I'm sure you can find the North and or South Pole.
There will be ways of doing it, and that'll
It
be
will be
the
ways.
exciting
There
thing.
will be
People finding that workaround and seeing
There
what
will-
emergent gameplay results because of that.
off game guilds run through websites,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
chat
what will
systems,
happen?
message boards.
What will happen is because they want to keep updating the game forever and ever. They want to make No Man's Sky the only game that they work on.
Yeah.
At least that's what Sean Murray said at some point. He said he wants to just keep working on it and building it. So I mean, I think that there will be an evolution and more options will come into play as well. I think they eventually will. I mean, they've said they want to listen to the community and see what people want. But I think a lot of people, like similar to you, Dan, I'm getting the impression like. I would really
You
like
want to play with your
easy ways
friends.
to team up and
Yeah,
get to do stuff with friends.
I kind of predict that will become a function of the game. You will be able to tell who people
it
are.
will.
You will be able to join guilds and factions, or they're probably waiting to see if factions start to develop.
Yeah.
Oh look,
Yeah.
they're
See if a trend begins to develop.
they're factioning off. So let's introduce a guild system so they can make their own factions.
Yeah.
So they all work together as a team against that team over there, who have been dogging them for days. That there is going to be there are people out there who will team up just so that they can effectively ruin the other person's game. Someone who's just off exploring just because that's the nature of the game may find themselves being harassed
quite
by
hard to
6
find
or
them,
7
though.
players.
I mean, at the moment,
don't-
you can't identify whether a player is a player or it's an NPC.
It won't be particular characters though, so there'll be ways to identify. Fly your ship round in a donut for 20 minutes.
I can't actually see
AI
it
is not going to
being
do that.
You won't. Like, it's so hard to bump into someone in that game. It is.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
literally
think
an entire
it's
galaxy.
so much bigger than you're thinking. It's so much bigger. Like, and I think that's the thing. It's something that you've got a 0.01 or something chance of bumping into another player in the whole time you play it. So it was something crazy.
Hold on, which
like
one are we talking about here? We're talking Elite Dangerous here.
No.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's
Oh,
Sky.
thank goodness, because I was about to say, no, I bumped into all kinds of guys, and they shot the crap out
No,
of
No
them.
Man's Sky is that big. The chances of you bumping into anyone are so infinitesimally
They're really
small.
I
They've
think
said,
that's
yes,
we can't
people
even...
probably could do it, but they're going to have to put in literally a week's worth of constant gameplay just to traverse the distances that will be involved between players.
We shall see.
But
We'll see how it
I
pans
think we'll
out.
see on that one.
Watch
So,
this space.
back to the plot. 23rd of August
Deus Ex
is...
Mankind.
Yes.
That's going to be good.
I don't think we've actually got anything else to say on this one. I mean, we've covered it. They haven't released anything else that's really particularly relevant to any of the gamers. It's not really been a hype-orientated release thus far. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm just kind of wondering where they're going to go. I'm still waiting to hear something about maybe what the plot's going to do, other than the rather short.
Well, they did do a mess up, didn't they? Originally, with DLC or something. Can you remember that? There was a thing, I think, in January or something.
Oh.
Where if you pre-ordered it, there was something about DLC, and everyone went absolutely ape shit, and it got some really bad attention. So I'm wondering whether that's why they've been so silent.
Yeah, it could have been.
But I'm surprised we haven't heard more about it.
If it was that bad, they must be feeling fairly confident that within the space of about 7 to 8 months that they can actually get that ironed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't always trust alpha beta reviews, because sometimes, at the end of the day, that's not a completed game.
Oh,
yeah,
well, it wasn't an alpha or beta review. It was specifically to do with how they were marketing the DLC. And I think it was something about them taking out levels, or if a certain number of people pre-ordered, they'd get an extra level or stuff like that. They were using some weird tactic. I can't remember what it was now. It was something like that really pissed off people.
A lot of people.
I hope it doesn't apply when the game comes out, because otherwise I'll be looking for a refund.
It won't.
Yeah.
Well, the trouble with alpha and beta testing is that alpha testing is to test the structure of the game, make sure it vaguely works in the intended manner. Beta testing is ironing out all the bugs. Alpha test gives you an idea of the game, but it gives you an idea of the game as much as a sketch of a circle is a balloon.
Yeah.
So if you want to see the rest of the detail, the actual detail of the balloon, it gets closer with the beta test. If you want to see what the balloon looks like, you buy the game.
Yeah.
It's something I probably will get, and I'll be waiting with bated breath to hear what Ferg thinks of it, or whoever else is getting it, and getting their opinion on it.
Definitely.
And then there's
to be honest, Final
26.
Fantasy's out quite soon. Well, like a month.
Well, September, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much October though.
Oh,
30th.
End of September, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's good. Your time to save up.
Yeah.
And Mafia's 3's coming out in October.
Is it October?
Stuff. Yeah, I think there's other stuff coming out in October as well. Like, October's going to be...
Gears of War?
Maybe.
We're probably going to end up covering those a little bit closer to the time.
Yeah, we'll come back to those.
Yeah, sorry.
So 26th.
Assetto Corsa? Is that the car?
It's a racing game. I'm assuming it is a breed of racing car.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's a racing game. So
I've got a Corsa, or my mum's got a Corsa. It's like tiny little car.
It's probably been
small car racing.
Reasonably priced cars. So yes, it's a racing game. You drive a car
for a racing game.
you drive cars. Awesome.
Sunday driver the game.
Yeah. I have a sneaking suspicion the game will not be a burnout contender. So
no, I'm not.
Also on the 26th, we've got Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested in
I'm
that.
excited about that because the anime's brilliant. I'm just hoping they're going to end up showing it at MCM Comic Con in Manchester.
Oh, that would be good.
It's
I
entirely
would
possible.
really love to see that and get a bit
We'll
of
get some
hands-on
video
time
of
with
it
that.
if they are.
Yeah, definitely.
It might look a bit dodgy actually. Well, not dodgy, but like the quality. It depends if they change their settings to. Anyway, that's a boring technical issue. But yeah, hopefully we can get something of that. That'd be great if it's.
That would be.
30th has World of Warcraft Legion, yet another DLC for WoW that I can ignore entirely.
I will most likely be picking up a copy.
Do you know
Yeah,
anything
well,
about it?
I'd be tempted to renew my account and go back and give it a try, maybe.
Do you know what? If you guys want to do it, I'm up for doing it with people. If anyone's up for it.
The Return of the Burning Legion, basically.
Right, it's going to be bad for Azeroth.
Yeah, they're coming. The Burning Legion's coming back to destroy Azeroth again. So far, I've really, really enjoyed WoW up until the last expansion. I kind of had a really weird experience with it, where internal guild politics. I started running out of players to go raids around, and
Right.
it just got very complicated.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought you said it was going to get weird because they started introducing Kung Fu Panda to it.
Technically, Kung Fu Panda is a rip-off of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Good.
The Pandaren race existed back in Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne. I think it was the Frozen
When
Throne.
it was an RTS.
Yes, it was Chen Stormstout was the character, and it was a hidden character you could find on the map, and he would join your army as a mercenary character, basically.
Oh, nice.
That character has existed for a very long time, and even before Kung Fu Panda with Jack Black existed.
I've got to admit, I really, really enjoyed playing Mists of Pandaria.
I thoroughly enjoyed that expansion.
I love that expansion. I know that's quite controversial against with the more elite World of Warcraft players, but the story really grabbed me for that, and I literally played everything there was
really good.
for Mists of Pandaria. I played that to death.
The raids at the time, my guild were challenging, which is what I wanted from a video game. I wanted a video game that would last. That's why I played World of Warcraft. That's why I play games like Pokemon, because they generally tend to last more than
half an hour. It's games reviews time.
Batman Arkham Knight. I picked it up on Monday. I have done everything in the game, pretty much, apart from a few bits and pieces leading up to the very last mission.
I've been playing it as well. In fact, Dad and I were kind of like both playing at the same time while just chatting online.
Oh,
and we were just kind of like,
cool.
oh yeah. Yeah, we both sank some time into it, and I know the game got some pretty dirty reviews early on. But you know what? I don't understand why, because I'm still really enjoying the game.
Arkham Knight?
Yes.
Yeah, Arkham Knight.
I think it got bad reviews because it was really really buggy.
A lot of the reviews were the tank mechanics. People didn't like the Bat Tank. I don't understand why. The Bat Tank is awesome. It's so many levels
genius.
of awesome. The way that you have to use it to interact with the world is absolutely brilliant. It's integral to solving quite a lot of the puzzles. There's elements where I've been sat there thinking none of this makes sense. Oh look, there's a grapple hook on the ceiling.
I think Arkham Knight actually got taken off the Steam store.
The game had PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and a PC launch. There was also collector's editions that came with the Batmobile, but there were problems with the Batmobile, the figure that came in the box, and they had to be recalled.
Right.
It was the official story that I heard, but that also coincided with the PC launch having a lot of technical problems when it launched, so it was pulled. Obviously, they've gone back and all that. They've worked out. Yes, they've worked out all the bugs, and they've put it up, obviously, for download on Steam.
But I mean, I've got it on Steam. I have not found any bugs in the game yet, and I've been looking for them.
I think they sorted it out. I mean, I think
it's too big a title to.
Yeah, I think they had to save face and sort it. I mean, they actually took it off the Steam store, went away, fixed it, and then put it back on. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It was taken off.
I mean, the mechanic itself, I totally love it. But the part that I'm really stuck with is its story. It's absolutely hooked me. And and it's also because Arkham Origins, we didn't have Mark Hamill playing the Joker for it. It was Troy Baker, who did a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong, playing a much younger Joker. But
he's not Mark Hamill.
It's not Mark Hamill yet, and Mark Hamill has become the definitive voice of the Joker.
Yeah,
I was really surprised because I thought with the replacement of Mark Hamill, I thought he had retired from the role completely. So when I realised it was actually him doing the role, I was really surprised and confused. I was pleased. I was thrilled to bits, but I was very confused by whether or not he'd actually retired from the role.
Well, it's also been made official that both Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and Mark Hamill, the voice of the Joker, are going to be turning up in Tim Bruce is coming back. Tim Bruce was the guy that did the Justice League Unlimited cartoons and the original Batman animated series. And these are the guys that are doing Batman Killing Joke. With the Alan Moore.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I am bimming over this. I am absolutely. I mean, this is something that those voice actors and this director and the rest of the production crew have, and it's just my opinion on this. I can imagine if they don't do another Batman cartoon or movie, then that's fine because it's the quintessential Batman story. It sets the precedent for everything else that follows and everything new DC 52 and everything else. So they can actually start playing with that timeline. They can use that in computer games or anything else. But that movie, I think that fans are absolutely desperate for this movie to work out really quite well. And I'm kind of hoping it's going to spur yet another Batman game, even if it's not the Arkham series.
I'd like to hope it does. I mean, the Arkham Knight is the conclusion to the Arkham
series,
quadrilogy, effectively. It's not a
I love
trilogy
a
anymore.
game
There's
based
4
on
of them.
Gotham.
I just don't get Gotham.
I love that shit.
I have problems with the Gotham series because anybody that likes Batman knows that nobody knows anything about the likes of, let's say, the Court of Owls. Spoilers, by the way. By the end of the second season, every bugger in Gotham knows about the Court of Owls, which doesn't turn up.
I hadn't seen the whole season 2.
It's got its good bits, it's got its meh bits, but it's the cats that they're really nagging at the storyline, and the likes of Commissioner Gordon and a 10-year-old Bruce Wayne, and Alfred and all the rest of them have just discovered, there's a secret clique of like bad guys calling themselves the Court of Owls. And
it's going to be a bit like it's an interpretation, a bit like the what was it, the Superman show?
Smallville.
That was it, yeah. I
love Smallville. It was so cheddar.
It was real cheese. But that was
like Lana Lang becoming a vampire, a witch, whatever else.
Yeah.
Total nonsense. Absolutely brilliant.
But it was good because it was an introduction to a comic book franchise that has otherwise not really been that popular, and Smallville was popular. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gotten 10 whole freaking seasons.
I know, brilliant.
Tom Welling got you virtually unheard of
pretty
beforehand.
Popular though, isn't it? Really, he's not doing.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. Some of the actors in Gotham are absolutely superb. The guy that's playing the Riddler and the Penguin, they are absolutely brilliant in the role.
The actor that played the sort of first Joker type character he did a really good job.
I can't say anything on that. I loved him, but yeah. Oh god, he was everything.
There's correlation between that character and the story in Arkham Knight.
They paid attention to those details, and that's one of the other reasons why I love the whole Arkham series, is because the people that have made the game clearly care about the comic, and it works.
By the way, I like how you we drifted off on a tangent and Dad just brought it all right back.
Straight back.
That was really well played.
Like a yo-yo.
But
That was
yes,
beautifully done.
as a game, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. It's I had similar experience with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but it's a game that it's got elements that appeal to me that I have to collect all the Riddler quests
I offer
to be
you a
able to progress
suggestion.
forwards.
It does appeal to the OCD in you, doesn't it?
Yes.
If you liked Black Flag, you should probably try Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh.
I actually preferred that to Black Flag. It was still pirate ships essentially, but the main character wasn't necessarily a pirate. He was he was an assassin, and he ended up turning into a Templar, I think. But the story's really
Yeah,
good.
it's the basic story,
It's-
set in a very cold Arctic-like region.
No, it's also set in the region that's in Black Flag as well.
Right, I'll have to look that one
It's
up.
got I think it's
Mm.
got that map as well. It's actually like warm and cold, and it's all a bit crazy. Like, I definitely recommend it if you liked Black Flag. It's exactly
I may wait for it to go backwards compatible on Xbox One.
yeah. I'd say it's highly worth. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than Black Flag, interestingly.
Ah.
So the other game we were going to review, I've kind of already covered with Ghostbusters. Give it a try. It's like Marmite. You'll either like it or not like it.
Yeah.
But I see that game, 4 of your mates, a couple of beers, it could be quite a lot of fun.
Kind of like Castle Crashers, just,
Yeah.
with proton packs.
Awesome.
Really, right?
Exactly, that sold me, actually.
So yes, at some point in the future, there might be a Wonky Gamer versus Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that would be good.
Game
But it
on.
means getting us all in the same place. As I say, my house, I recommend.
Yes. Actually, there's a game that's just been released on Steam. I think it was actually released quite literally yesterday. That I've actually been playing since I've been playing it for months. It's called RimWorld. And yeah, I know there's a few jokes that you can put out on that, but it's an indie developer. I believe his name is Tynan Sylvester, and it's his game. He's the guy that's on this. It's Ludion Studios. If you've played games like Prison Architect, and you like that kind of game where you're colony building, or it's a colony building simulator, and it works along lines, the closest thing that you can put it to is something like Prison Architect, but you start with considerably fewer people, and you have to manage absolutely everything. But with the latest
It looks a lot like it as well, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, it does. It's got an awful lot of similar things in there, but you have to worry about things like the weapons, the clothing, how you're going to get fed. You're going to have farms. You're going to have to build up the buildings. You've got to manage all the characters' expectations and their feelings and things like that. They can fight between each other because they don't like each other, or they just said something really stupid while they're drunk. You can have pets that actually you can train them. It's a beautiful game with that it's expanding all the time. The updates have been ongoing, which has been smashing. I really have been.
Did you just say you could collect Pokemon in this game?
No.
Didn't you say you could get pets? Do you catch them?
No, you
And
tame
enslave
them, and you don't shoot them.
Do you train them to fight?
You can release them to actually attack people that are attacking you, yes. However, you can also train your pets to rescue people that have been downed or get them to haul. You don't actually need to get the pet to do it. However, if you've tamed a pet and they have bonded with one of the colonists, if a colonist is under attack, the pet, in its own decision, will actually go to defend them.
Right.
So
how do you tame these pets?
Each character has a selection of different skills, including a handling skill. And you basically have the opportunity to select an animal and tame it. And your character, your colonist will, at some point during the day, interact with the animal, try and feed it kibble or any other kind of food that's actually currently available, including, meat that you've already hunted for. And over time, the character and the pet build up a bond, and the stronger that bond becomes, the more likely you are to be able to train it quicker, the
Right.
That it'll be, and more to the point, when the animal dies, which it can because everything ages in the game. All the characters age. If the animal dies, the person that is bonded to that animal or is the animal's handler actually gets a massive morale drop. They lose like minus 25% of their morale straight off, and that can last for well over a month in game.
Yeah.
Which, just
It's
to say,
only right.
I've just lost my favorite animal. I've just spent the last couple of years on this planet with nobody but these douchebags and this wonderful animal that adopted me because I actually was kind to it. And it's more of a partnership as opposed to a let's
stuff it in a tiny ball and make it fight.
Yeah. You still need to provide the animal with a bed. You've got to provide it with food. It'll go out there. You can teach the animal to do stuff, and it's a symbiotic relationship, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a much better moral exercise
than catching it in a ball and training it to fight.
And throwing at your opponent. Yes. The game itself, it's still in early development. It's effectively early access. It's relatively, it's not expensive, and the number of hours I've sunk into that game is not reflected by my Steam account at all. I've probably sunk somewhere well in excess of 200 hours into it.
Wow. Have you got any footage of RimWorld then?
Not. I've got tiny bits, but I kind of want to reshoot it. I really would like to do a video of it because it's now on Steam and it's closer to where it's at. But it's something that will require a lot of time because the game isn't a game that you can just run in there, hack and slash your way through. It's a time, you're going to have to save your game. You're going to be spending hours on it. And there are a variety of different difficulty levels. The actual in-game AI is really quite complex. It's split between 3 different types. You've got your chillax type, you've got your casual, you've got your standard, and you've got the utterly bloody random. So you can actually have a nice base building. You can have it on chillax and have it base building, or really quite serious. Chillax, you've got plenty of time to actually set up your base, but when the threats turn up, it's going to be pretty damn serious. Or it could be utterly random, where you can be on base builder on the random setting, and you'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just build my base. It's nice and relaxed, and all of a sudden you've got like alien mechanoids turning up on your doorstep with all you've got is like a couple of sticks and a rock to chuck at it, and these guys have got like plasma cannons and mini guns and lots of hit points. You go like, oh,
I'll just run away then.
Yeah, no, running away doesn't work.
Oh no.
If there's psychic ships, the engine is so unbelievable. It's a beautifully complex game, but it doesn't take long to master. There's plenty of support material online if you need like a couple of guides. But
I'd like to see some footage of that.
I would love to do that one, actually. It would be a joy to do, but it will take time to cut one together, in short, because it's going to require some further playthrough, and I'm having to start all over again.
I did have a little look at the site for the game, and there's a lot of really cool inspirations for them. I mean, they've got, they've said they've been influenced by Firefly, Dwarf Fortress, Dune, which is one of my favourite sci-fi books ever, and Warhammer 40,000. So,
I'm looking forward to finding Arrakis in No Man's Sky.
Yes.
That's going to be my goal.
The other thing I really want to
point out... Can you not name planets in No Man's Sky? First planet you find.
No,
No,
it has to have sandworms.
Yes.
Yeah, first person to find a planet with sandworms is going to name it, and then the name's gone.
No!
It will be, and you'll always get someone who just goes, "Oh, I like Dune. I'll name it after that, just because it's sandy."
There'll be a lot of Arrakises, no doubt.
Yeah.
There might only be one.
What, in terms of whether you can reuse the name?
Yeah, because it's like player names in games like World of Warcraft. If there is already a Dead Reckoning on a server, I can't have my name.
Oh well, I guess I'll be calling it Arrakis 5698 or something then. That's my name. You leave that.
Find something with a particular parasitic organism and call it Acheron.
You just call it Arrakis.
Home.
A Ramkiss.
actually, just
Horrendous.
before I forget to mention it, that RimWorld has an absolutely outstanding soundtrack. I've just got to throw that in there. It's absolutely beautiful, and it really adds to the atmosphere. It has this very sort of Western feel to it, kind of like Firefly. It's one of the when they say that there's an inspiration behind Firefly, they actually mean it. There's a very sort of Western, frontierish feel to the whole game, and the soundtrack really reflects that. Lots of nice guitar work, things like that. I just want to throw that in there.
It does look really interesting. Just looking at the page on Steam.
I highly recommend it. I've sunk tons of time into it. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful game. Speaking of beautiful games, there's also, for those of you that like the idea of it, Ark Survival Evolved. I've finally put some hours into that, and
I've only played a little bit of it because my computer's just been dying recently. But
it's resource hungry, but the co-op on the game, if you can find a quiet server to get learning on, is absolutely it's a joy to behold. Going around in the game, I mean, it's still effectively early access, and they're still making an awful lot of chops and changes to it. But it's happening on a regular basis, as with the best titles, and it is the lighting, the way the water shines, the creatures that you'll encounter. I mean, okay, yeah, there's a couple of collision issues that are currently there. There's some, when you're smashing away at a giant boulder and all the rocks fly in every which direction, it's a little bit kind of what? But that's fine. You know what? This is early access. This is what we're expecting, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where this game's going to go, especially since they haven't really told us what the real plot is, why these people are turning up here, why is it we keep respawning, what's the deal with the engrams, what's with the shiny lights in the sky, and the giant weird towers. But that mystery is actually bringing me further into the game. But it's seriously suits you, sir. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
I just played a bit of the. They had like a trial on the Xbox One because it is on that as well. Yeah, it's on Xbox One as again part of the early access that Xbox One does. And so I just played the trial. I played it for an hour, and it looked fun, but not enough time to get into it. Certainly in an hour.
It's one of those games I would strongly recommend having other players on it that you can play with. Yeah. Well, trust, yes, but it's more the case of when you work as a group, you can team up in your own group, and the co-op element of the game is absolutely brilliant. Playing on my own was actually quite tough because I had no idea what I was going into, but when you get further into the game and you really can't, you've got somebody who can teach you, which I've currently got. What I'm doing, I have no idea. And then my current Sifu is kind of like showing me all the ropes. And the more I've opened up, the more I've been enchanted by the game's mechanic and the world that you are being dropped into, and the mystery behind it is. It's really
so much to discover and create, isn't there?
Literally
from discovering fire upwards.
You're one of the first. As you level up, you're able to put up your main stats. Some of them are actually more useful than others at this early stage in the game. But as you level up, you gain what's called engram points, which allow you to open up different forms of technology. And the first things in your technologies that you'll want are things like campfires and clothing and stone hatchets and whatnot. You need to have tools very early on, and if you don't know how to acquire them, you're going to be like, So if you're wanting to get into the game and kind of like really push it through, it might be worth checking out a couple of YouTube videos on how it plays out. But otherwise, just diving into it straight off the bat, it can be so much fun. But just expect to die a few times. And dying really does kick you in the nuts. You lose everything. If you find the bag on the floor, well done. You drop some of your loot, but there's the chances are if you die, you're going to be hurting. Yeah. Beware of the north.
Spawning in the north. On PlayStation actually in December, apparently.
Oh,
So I'm guessing
get
that's
in.
when they plan on
releasing
sort
it
of
properly.
maybe releasing
Maybe.
properly. Yeah, I don't know. So this sounds
I'd like to think so. But they've definitely dropped hints as to what they're going to be doing story-wise, but not enough to really kind of tell us anything,
Yeah.
if you catch my drift.
It has been out
Yes.
for about a year, hasn't it? I think.
Yeah, 2nd of June 2015. It says it was released.
Ah.
Yeah, and you can. I have no idea what the early play was, and I know that there are a few people who are like, it's not an awful lot going in it. That's because it's early access, you pant.
Because it really came up on my radar as something to try out, but I
Yeah.
think the biggest problem about the reception it got was just about the fact it was pretty heavy to load up and play, and a lot of people couldn't play it because the requirements were pretty high at the time. But I don't really know whether
Yeah.
that's changed or not, really. Or
I'm not going to say anything because I have no idea. But when the final release date comes, I'm expecting it to be able. I'm sure they're still going to be able to play it on Xbox and PS4, no matter how.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter how low the spec is.
So,
Kind of covers. Yeah, that kind of covers Ark Survival Evolved.
Coming this month on Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. Free games, hooray!
yeah, that's-
Xbox is still Banner Saga 2. That's the 1st of July to the 31st. Tumblestone is the next one.
Yeah,
from the
that
16th of
came
July
out
to the 16th.
on the
August.
16th. I gave that a little bit of a play this afternoon, and it's just a little fun puzzle game, basically matching 3 of the same colour block, and you have to clear a grid.
So,
And-
Bejeweled, basically.
No, it's basically all the you fire a bolt up, and you need to hit 3 of the same colour, and they'll all be layered differently. So you've got to think about the blocks you remove to be able to clear the screen.
Right.
Because if you get one wrong, that's it. The level restarts, and you have to try again. So it is really a puzzle game.
It's not like that Candy Crush Saga or one of those games, is it?
No,
Whatever.
not quite. Each puzzle it'll have a definite solution, maybe some variation, but you've got to really think your way through some of the puzzles.
Okay.
But
I like the occasional puzzles.
it wasn't too bad. It's all right as puzzle games go.
PlayStation Plus is
as before.
Fury and Saints Row Get Out of Hell.
I mean, I haven't actually got a chance to play Fury. I mean, the Saints Row one, I'm probably not going to play, to be honest.
It's another Saints Row game.
Yeah, and it's a standalone expansion for the Saints Row 4, I think.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's funny and a lot of fun for people that like that kind of game. I mean, for me, I find Saints Row a bit too wacky
Yeah.
to get into. I have played a few of them, and they're all right. I just not something I really get that hyped about. But Fury's got some seriously positive feedback at the moment. I think it was actually released when it came on the PS Plus store. And
Right.
it's basically sort of boss battles, I think, and it's all about working out how to defeat the boss.
Oh, nice.
And it seems very, very popular, so I do need to give it a go because it is apparently very, very good. I mean, it's not necessarily even my type of game, but it's good to try it and get an idea of it.
Weapons of Mass Destruction is
Right.
the new one by Team 17, and we spotted that entirely by accident. Because my word, that must have been kept under the radar. Because its release trailer was absolutely astounding, and comes with a selection, a truly outstanding number of skins, many of which are actually featured in other computer games, including the likes of Team Fortress. So you can have Team Fortress worms amongst various other different types, along with all the voice skins that come with it, all the little all the little quotes that you would expect to find in all those various franchises, plus the ability to actually essentially craft your own worms.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll let that sink in for a second.
I
Sounds
think
interesting.
I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Thoroughly looking forward to it coming out.
Being a British-based company, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Scotland.
there's some kind of slightly political dig / joke at Tony Blair in the reason and timing for that title.
Ah, right, yeah.
I kind of would like to think so. For instance, if you're playing the Team Fortress people or Broforce have skins in it, and they have special weapons that are only deployable, to the best of my knowledge, by those particular skins, like particular airstrikes or particular grenades, like and the like. So you can actually play them and introduce brand new weapon elements into the game. So
Yes,
you're not just
the crafting system. Worms with a crafting system. What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
That sells it on its own for me, because I would love to customize an entire outfit of worms.
It's £20 to pre-order.
Oh, that's good.
And there is a pre-order bonus pack of different character skins and stuff. I've got my pre-order down. I'm waiting for it to release. I'm that confident that it's going to be awesome.
Are you getting it on the
PC.
Xbox or the PC?
I'm getting it on PC, mainly because I haven't seen anything about it being on Xbox or PlayStation yet.
Right, okay.
But the idea is that because Ferg is mainly based on PC and doesn't have access to the consoles, that way we can have some fun.
All play it. I mean, I've just watched some of the trailer on Steam for it, and it was saying stuff like some of the skins like Ukulele, the Escapist, Team Fortress, Broforce, as you mentioned. So yeah, looks like there's loads.
I think there's easily at least maybe a dozen extra skins that they've imported from other games, which
yeah,
yeah, you get access to them all with the pre-order. It's Worms. It's infinitely replayable. It's one that you can have your mates around. You can do it.
Yeah.
I would assume that there's going to be multiplayer online as well.
It's one of those games that's kind of
single player plus online and local multiplayer warfare.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Mario Kart. It's kind of the same thing every time, but great.
Every race is
just
different.
so playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game that has time and time again proven its replayability to hordes of fans for decades now, when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a solid franchise, and it's Team 17. As far as I'm still concerned, Team 17 simply can't do any wrong. They would. I think you'd actually need photographs of them eating babies and booting puppies to actually put me off them right now. And even then, I'd say, "Are you sure that's are you sure you didn't just Photoshop that?"
I have heard they play Pokemon Go, Ferg.
Ah, good people.
Well, I suppose it is, again, small animals blowing the crap out of each other for your entertainment, so...
Yeah,
yeah, that's a very good point there.
Yes.
Worms have a rating.
It will have gone through the PEGI process. Every game that's released has to go through the PEGI process. It's a fact of life with the way that the games industry is run now, because it's so close to the movie industry. It's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Now it's time for all the very latest info about events to do with games and stuff.
There's some content coming up from Comic-Con.
Yes.
Comic-Con Manchester as well that me and Rami are going to be going to.
Yeah. And that's the 30th and 31st of July.
Yeah. So we're going to try and get some game stuff. There wasn't really any game stuff last year.
We're hoping there will be this year. Yeah,
hopefully. I mean, we'd be pretty hyped if we saw Attack on Titan there, I can tell you. But
yeah, massively.
we'll see. I mean, they don't always really release a lot of information about gamey type stuff on the website, so we'll just have to see. But
we'll turn up, see what's there.
Yeah, I mean, we will get a lot of stuff in terms of like television and stuff. We'll be getting quite a lot of stuff there. I think Warwick Davis is there actually, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
He is.
Yeah, we're still hoping he's going to beat you up, aren't we?
That'll be good.
The other big event that's coming up is Insomnia Gaming Festival, Insomnia 58.
During the 26th and 29th of August, I believe.
Yeah, so it's a 3-day gaming festival held at Birmingham NEC. Tickets are available from their website and select outlets. And there's a lot of stuff going on there. There's a League of Legends going on there. So if you're a fan of League of Legends, it's probably a good place to head because there's going to be tournaments on the day. There's all sorts of gaming related stuff. There's an exhibition of retro gaming as well. It's going to be a good day out. There's also a bring your own computer / console where you can turn up with your own gear and basically join a well, it's going to be huge. There's going to be thousands of players all connecting in one massive LAN party. There'll also be retail stills there. It's going to be, I would imagine, a good weekend
tournaments. Out. It's literally
Yep.
24 hours a day, isn't it?
Yes, it goes on
for the whole weekend.
There's day pass tickets which get you access to the day event. There's weekend tickets like Reading or Download Festival. There is stuff going on.
God, I didn't know that. Wow.
It's the gaming equivalent of Download. You turn up, you can play games all day. You can watch stage shows, cosplay events, sorts of things. There's evening events as well. And
I mean, it would be good. I mean, I think we are thinking of covering it. Still sorting out the details of
who's going to go.
All that kind of stuff. But it should be a good one to do because actually, we can maybe even get a bit of coverage of what's like not just panels or little bits. We can also maybe get a bit of an overview of what's going on there as well. And
what it's like.
That.
A day in life.
They're advertising quite specifically. This is the biggest gaming festival, and you know what? A venue like the NEC in Birmingham that has its own bloody train station. I'm kind of expecting. I think they've got the space to actually make that boast and make it legit.
I think it was originally held at Coventry Rico Centre, but it got too big. They needed a bigger venue. So they moved it. They moved it to the NEC's massive.
I was actually there a couple of weeks ago. It is massive.
There's a lot of room for them to grow at that location.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it should be a good event. But yeah, the tickets are available from their website. If you want to take your own console, it's a little bit more expensive. It's about 99 quid. That gets you the 3-day pass.
The full weekend, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
I believe it is the full weekend.
For that amount of gaming, you pay a lot more than that nowadays for a music festival.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you pay it for a gaming festival?
Obviously, accommodation, you'll have to sort that out yourself, and I would probably recommend booking as soon as you possibly can if there's anything left.
Yeah, the end of August isn't far away.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be big and you're going to get people that are going to have tickets for each of these days, especially since they're really advertising their esports agenda, then I'm expecting some people to be hanging around, getting rooms early, getting themselves sorted out, and they're also going to be lugging around a fair bit of kit. Because I don't know about you, but if I was going to be bringing a PC, and I've only got the one. If I had to bring my PC down, I would want to have the shortest possible distance to my gaming area for the fear of bumping into someone and losing it.
Yeah.
to the floor. Yes. Worst day ever. My computer was trashed by a guy dressed as Chewbacca, and I didn't want to pick a fight with him because, a Wookiee's more likely to rip my arms off.
Ow! 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 Ow!
Yeah, so I just gave him my computer and walked away.
Well, that's the Wookiee win.
Yeah, precisely.
Maybe that's how you win the tournament. Go dressed as a Wookiee.
That's a good gaming strat there.
Okay, dressed as a Wookiee.
You're tall, aren't you, Ferg?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
How do you feel about wearing a full body fur coat?
As long as it's not real fur, I'm fine. Actually, the thing that would scare the living pants out of me is actually roasting to death and leaving a puddle of sweat every step I took. But otherwise, I'm game for it.
I'd do it, but I'd just look like an Ewok.
I think that's just about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that brings it to a close.
Right, well, thanks everyone for listening.
Yes.
Yep, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Pleasure as always.
Catch you on the flip side.
Have a lovely day.
Take care, have fun.
Be excellent to each other. If you find any women in my house, I want them.
Enough about vomiting on the floor.
Eating babies and booting puppies.
Grand Theft Horsey, basically. Well, that's the Wookiee win.